I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 115. Just a reminder before we start that you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, YouTube, and Vero at Rated G for Gamers. You can always email us at info@ratedgforgamers.com. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino. This is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster, formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Oh, I got some bad news, man.
Bad news?
Bad news.
Wait, did you lose your Switch again?
I did not lose my Switch again, thankfully enough.
Oh,
and the collection is fine, and my basement hasn't flooded, and my dog didn't die. I don't even own a dog. My dog didn't die.
Yeah. Well, wait. Are you now finally realizing that PlayStation is a superior brand?
Ugh, nothing so trivial and petty as the place that PS4 holds in the gaming pantheon. No. Yeah. Me and the girl were broken up.
Oh man, come on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, look, I appreciate that you were there for me, and we had some heartfelt talks off camera, off the mics, and that helped a lot. Everybody, all my friends came together and showed support and whatnot. And I have to say, friends in video games, they heal all wounds. They heal all wounds. I'll say that.
Listen, man, me and Kratos are here for you.
All right. And Atreus, too, right? The little kid?
And Atreus.
Got to get in there. So, I mean, it was definitely a rough last week, for sure. But, kind of getting over. And you know what? We're a video game podcast. We got video games to talk about.
Well, you know what? Listen, next time I come to your house, I'll hide that copy of Broken Age.
Oh, I know.
I don't want to bring back memories. We'll play a better game. We'll play Double Dragon 4 together.
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you this though, and then we can kind of move on. I did happen to find our little puzzle cheat sheet that we were both kind of writing down notes on, and that kind of hurt. And I was like, oh. We beat that game with that one sheet of paper, right? Had all the little notes on there and whatnot, and I was like, "Oh, that was such a good time."
That sucks,
such a
man.
good time.
I'm sorry. Well, listen, if it makes you feel any better, I don't know if I can play through the Walking Dead Season 2 Telltale game again.
Oh, that gets to you. You got some memories tied into that.
I played that with my ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to be a jerk the whole time, and I was just like, no, because that's not what I would do.
Right? And you love those Telltale games, too, so that's got to be extra tough.
I know, because I want to get the Platinum. I played it on Xbox.
Right.
I want to get the Platinum on PlayStation, and I can't even play it anymore. I was like, I bought it, and I was like, I can't play it.
I know, man. Being an adult sucks.
Well,
it really does.
Listen, man, I had a bad breakup in high school.
Crash Bandicoot
was there for me.
What game?
Crash Bandicoot and Mario Kart 64 were there.
See, there you go. Your friends get you through. Friends and video games. That's what matters. All
right, so let's take your mind off that, man. Did you see the Venom trailer?
Oh, I did.
We got a more fleshed out, extended trailer this time. We finally got to see Venom, because in the first trailer, it was sort of a teaser trailer, so we didn't get to see Venom. We didn't get to actually see what the Venom costume would look like.
Right. Not the CG and the how is he going to look as a symbiote.
Yeah, the trailer this time it looked crazy, because Venom looks crazy. I didn't even know what I would imagine Venom would be like on the big screen. He looks crazy. He looks scary. And he's sort of like an anti-hero, right?
Right. Yeah,
I don't. Spider-Man is not going to be. Well, by all accounts, by all reports, Spider-Man is not going to be in a movie, but
he wasn't in the trailer at least, and you know, no one's kind of said otherwise yet. So
I honestly think that would be a shame if he's not. I think they have to at least reference him, right, in
Mhm.
some way, because he is in that Spider-Man universe. They don't have to reference anything else from the MCU, but they can at least reference Spider-Man.
Right. Oh, wait, so Marvel is putting this movie out, right?
No, Fox. Well, technically, yes, Marvel, because now Disney owns Fox. It's not official, but they semi-own them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder. Fox is putting the movie out, not the MCU.
Right. Marvel. I wonder how much of the Marvel Cinematic Universe they can even pull in, if they can even pull anything in, you know? Because that's like, you know, you want everything to tie in, to be cohesive, to like be able to pull in extra characters into your thing, to have a Spider-Man cameo and, you know, have it kind of fit into the world. So I don't know, but
come on, didn't we see the X-Men movies? Who needs cohesiveness?
Come on, you would totally want Wolverine to be in Avengers Infinity War. You would go bananas. I would. Yeah. So there you go. You know, that'd be great.
And he will when they reboot everything.
Maybe, yeah. The one thing I'll say about the trailer,
and Disney finally owns all the Marvel characters.
Disney owns everything, yeah. The one thing I'll say about the trailer, I am questionable on the CG. It looks weird. It looks a little weird. I'll be honest.
It does. It does look a little weird. I mean, I wouldn't. Like, I can't, like, he's such a hard character to get right. Mm-hmm. Like, if you think about it, right? Because he's like a symbiote. He's sort of like this slimy type of all black, you know, just characters. Like, how would he be in real life? Mm-hmm. And I wonder how they're going to tie this in with Spider-Man, because the symbiote, the reason why Venom has Spider-Man type powers is because he merged with Peter Parker first.
Right. Yeah, they're basically like, his storyline is tied into Spider-Man, so it'll be interesting how they kind of play that out.
But I don't know. I thought the trailer, finally got to see Venom. Mm-hmm. I was like, yes, finally, this is Venom's on the big screen. Wow. We didn't see Carnage, because by all accounts, Carnage is the bad guy. In the movie. Yeah, you would definitely hope so in this case. But I think the CG did look a little weird, but I was just so excited to actually see it. Yeah, right. That I just ignored it. Well, I think this is one of those, like 2 or 3 years down the line, we're going to look back and be like, yeah, that was kind of whack. But it'll be a cult classic in like 20 years. I mean, like, the last time we had Venom on the big screen was the last Spider-Man movie, which was like 2005. The last Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, like, out of that, like, trilogy. And I think that Venom looked better. He did look cool. The storyline and how he fit into the plot was like god awful, but I mean, he looked cool. You know, Eddie Brock looked on point. I know, but the CG for this, I was just wondering how are they going to be different than that Spider-Man 3, right? Yeah, like because they're going for more realistic look, right? More darker tone. Yeah. Which doesn't fit the Spider-Man from the MCU at all, right? No. It's a very different tone. But I mean, they've done that. You know, like the Thor movies have been kind of weird. You know, they've had like a dark tone, and then the last one was like super light and funny. So, you know. So, Dave, as we always try to start the show and epically fail, what have you been playing? Oh, I love this question. This is honestly my favorite part of the show. Because I get to tell you that I am possibly playing... No. I am definitively playing Game of the Year 2018 right now, God of War for the PS4. Ooh. Okay. I'm putting the flag down, man. I'm calling it now. This game is fantastic. All right, well, no spoilers, but I'm playing the same thing. It's actually the only thing I've been playing. Same. I haven't touched my Switch. My Xbox is collecting dust. Forget about the Wii U. I think everybody forgot about the Wii U. Well, I would say I loved Uncharted 4, and I really liked Horizon Zero Dawn. And you know what? I'll even throw this out there. I loved Ratchet and Clank. Mm-hmm. The remaster, the remaster. But this is the only game like that I've had that's made me not turn off my PS4. Like I've always put it in rest mode.
Mm-hmm.
I have not turned my PS4 off completely, like since I got this game. Like I
That's crazy.
want to just jump back into where I left off.
Right? It's so good. It's so good. Now I have to ask you because you put some time into it. Early on, you were kind of like, yeah, no, I'm good with it and all that. Like, how do you feel? Okay, I'm going to ask you two questions. A, how do you feel about Atreus, your son? And B, how do you feel about the whole crafting and upgrade system?
All right. I have no problem with Atreus. If anything, like he's great because
same.
Because when you need him like to shoot an arrow or jump on a guy to distract him, like he's awesome. He gets a little annoying when those flying eyes come around and grab him, and it's like you got to save him. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Because if it's a big monster, he's like shooting arrows, jumping on him. But if it's like that stupid flying eye, they always capture him for some reason, and I gotta like save him.
Yeah.
But that's a minor gripe. I will say I have changed my mind. I've completely changed my mind. I've reversed from what I said last week. The crafting, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Like
it's a little too much. It's a little too
much. It is
to
too much. I no mas. I tap out. Like it is way too much.
Like I know they're trying to do the hybrid thing and the whatever else and make it like a bunch of different genres, but at its like core, it's an action game, and going into the menu and upgrading your socket, so now you have 6 strength as opposed to 5 strength. Like it just takes away. Why do I need to micromanage? I'm Kratos. I should be able to smash things with my axe and cause damage.
It's just too convoluted. Like I'm trying to figure out what I need to do like to be more powerful, and it's like, well, this option you have a little less strength, more defense, more luck. What's luck? It's Kratos. I don't need luck. I need strength.
Right, exactly. You want to be able to mow those. You want to be able to mow those undead down.
It's a little ridiculous. I gotta be honest. But like I tell you all the time, like the sort of like the RPG aspect of like leveling up your character. I rarely do stuff like that. Like and I forgot which games. I can't think of a game off the top of my head, but like you're always like, you didn't level up your sword to like level 20, and I'm like, no, whatever level I had is whatever level sword I had is what I had, and I beat the game. It was hard, but I did it. Like that's usually how I run through it. You need to level up your weapons in this game, like you need to. Further you get, you need to. So
little PSA there from Dan Robinson. Level up your character. But
listen, the story on point. And I think like maybe 4 hours ahead of you.
Yeah.
But you've been trying to sort of like be completionist, sort of, right? You've been like every little thing.
I kind of honestly don't necessarily know where to go and don't know when I'm done with an area per se. So like I was kind of lingering in some areas, and I like looked up online. Did I miss anything? I'm like, yeah, you're done with this area. You can just keep it moving. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I mean, I know they tell you like you need to go here on the map and like you need to get to this spot, but it still feels a little like I don't know where I'm going, Yeah. So I'm enjoying doing all the little side quests, it's great. And, the game is really tight and the controls are really tight. And, I'm loving Atreus, we're having that quality father-son time right now. So I'm into it.
Nice. I can't say how many hours I'm into it so far. I mean, like I want to say like at least 8 to 9 hours.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they say it's like a 25-hour game. I think like all in. I'm assuming that includes doing like some of the side quests and whatnot to get to the end of the game. So I think we got another 10 to 15 hours left, probably. I would say.
But I hands down, I would say spoilers. This is going to be my game in a year.
Yeah, it's definitely going on the list. It's definitely going on the list. Right.
This is the measuring stick going forward.
We know it's early in the year, but this game is that good. This is basically the Uncharted of 2016, I think. Right. It came out around the same time. It was a heavy hitter, just like Horizon Zero Dawn last year. came out of the gate, heavy hitter, nominated Game of the Year from a lot of outlets, including us. You know, it's great. So Sony's had a good track record of doing that the last like 3 years, right?
Yeah, and then don't forget, we got Detroit Become Human coming out in a few weeks.
We do.
So, you know, and we really love that game when we played the demo. And the demo, that same demo, you could play right now for free.
Yes, it is. It is now on. It is now on PSN. It is now on PSN.
So,
and you know, not to mention later in the show, we'll just kind of tease it now, I guess. But we do have some news out of Quantic Dream, the studio that had put or is putting out Detroit Become Human. So we're gonna get into all of that a little bit later.
but before we take a break and get into the news, you get any good pickups?
Yeah, I got some pickups. I got a little bit of retail therapy to take my mind off things for sure. Well, you know these guys, the ones that we met at the flea market, who had the crazy good collection set up, and we bought like a ton of good stuff from them a couple years ago. I met up with those guys again. You know, we were kind of playing phone tag for a little bit, and basically, long story short, I picked up Cruis'n USA and Shadows of the Empire, Star Wars, for N64, which are great.
Nice. Cruis'n USA.
Right?
I got to say, I have such nostalgic memories for that game.
That game was great, man.
Well,
Cruis'n USA is...
because I only had that in Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my two first games for the N64.
Heavy on the racing games. There you go.
I know.
Yeah, it's solid. I remember like you could ride in the Redwood, California area, and like the deer would come out, and you could like ram into the deer. I always thought that was funny.
So I love Cruis'n USA. I have no bad words for Cruis'n USA.
Nice. And then I also picked up Demon Attack inbox complete for the Intellivision. The box is in pretty good condition, so I'm kind of happy about that. NHL Hockey for Intellivision, super throwback. And Advanced D&D. I don't know this game, but it's also for the Intellivision. So interesting.
I wonder what D&D stands for.
I could give you two guesses.
Dan and Dave.
Advanced Dan and Dave for the Intellivision. Yeah. If you guys didn't know, we were game developers way back in the day when we were babies.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. So how about you?
Right.
Have you got any good pickups?
Light on the pickups this week. All of my focus has been in God of War. I got to be honest.
Wow.
All I can think about
Dan Robinson,
a
shoes digging in the crates to play as Kratos. Very nice.
Yes.
I appreciate the dedication.
So I'm pretty light on the pickups. I got Driver 2 for the PS1.
Very nice.
I actually thought I had this game. I thought I had both drivers. But I didn't apparently. So I had to go pick this up.
I have to say, Driver and Driver 2, precursors to the 3D Grand Theft Auto, you know?
Really?
They did a lot of things early because, like, you know, Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 came out before then, but they were like top down. It was like a very different kind of feel. But like Driver did all these really cool things. You know, you were the wheelman. You could pick people up. I think in Driver 2 you could get out of the car. You know, they had like a realistic 3D city that you could drive around in. You know, that was like a year or two before GTA 3 came out. You know, so I think they took a lot of notes from them.
I've seen the commercials and I've seen the ads. I never played them as a kid. Always wanted to play them. I have them, and it's, you know, they're in the collection. One day I'll get to them. I actually saw a meme online on Instagram where it was a picture of like a huge collection, and it was like, gamers always say there's nothing to play.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that's me, because like you have so many games that you want to play, you just can't pick one.
You get overwhelmed, man. You know, like that's like a legit phenomenon. Like if you walk into a supermarket and you're like, all right, I need to get ketchup, right? And you go to the condiment aisle, right? And there's more than like 3 choices. You will not know what to do. You will not know what to do. You will just panic. There's too many choices. You know.
So I was watching Radical Reggie, who is a frequent guest on Metal Jesus Rocks on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, awesome YouTube channel. One of the first YouTube channels I sort of connected with when I started really getting back into gaming a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Radical Reggie suggested Rad Roger. He suggested it for PS4. I got it for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
You know, I love my platformers, man. I'm a platform guy.
Mm-hmm. You like them old school.
So, you know, I picked up, haven't opened it, don't know when I'm going to get to it, but it's in the collection.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Now, you know that I've been going after all these figurines that Sony came out. Remember, Sony came out all these figurines, GameStop exclusive.
Yep. Got the Wipeout chip and Crash Bandicoot and Hayachi Mishima. Hey.
Yeah. So I've been on a hunt for the Bloodborne one.
Oh, boy.
Sold out everywhere.
Yeah, Bloodborne's the tough one, man. Everybody wants it.
Nobody has it, right? I found this one place, GameStop in Brooklyn, that had it in stock. Hopped in a taxi there. It was literally out of the way. The guy's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like, someone stole it."
Oh, that
so
hurts.
it's always gonna show in stock in this store.
Right, because they haven't taken it out of the system yet.
Yeah, it was crazy. So while I was there, I figured I didn't want to waste the trip. So I picked up Dynasty Warriors Gundam for PS3.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I only got the game because I didn't want to waste the trip.
Well, I mean, you love the Warrior games, so I mean, it's not out of your realm to be like, maybe I'll pick this up. So, you know, I'd give it a whirl. You know, fighting with giant robots is always fun.
Oh, no, listen, you know I love mech games, and I love Dynasty Warrior games, so it's just like a match made in heaven.
There you go.
I'm afraid if I really like it, I'm going to go after, I'm sure they had to make more Dynasty Warrior Gundam games.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I'm pretty sure there's a couple out there.
So I'm afraid if I like it so much, I'm going to have to go buy them all. You know me, I got to buy the whole collection.
That wouldn't be, I know, Mr. I have all the James Pond games. I think you're the only person that has all the James Pond games.
You hating on James Pond.
I'm not hating on James Pond. I just find it funny that you have all the James Pond games.
I have all the James Pond games. I do. I admit it. I love it.
It's just a fun thing to say. Dan Robinson owns all the James Pond games.
Well, console releases. I don't know if they came out on PC.
I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. I think it was basically Super Nintendo, Genesis, and the Game Gear. I think that's about where it ended. So,
all right. Why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we'll get into the top 10 gaming news of last week.
And then in the convo of the week, Quantic Dream, the people behind Detroit Become Human, are in some hot water.
And we're back. All right, let's get into the top 10 gaming news of last week. There are a lot of games that get canceled that we never hear about, and a lot of games that get canceled, we hear rumors. This game came out last week. You know, the creator of Seamen, yes, the infamous game for the Dreamcast, Seamen, came out and talked about a Mario game he had pitched to Nintendo, Miyamoto, and essentially was working on that got canned. He wouldn't give a reason why,
right?
But once you hear the details of this game, I can pretty much we could take some good guesses on why they scrapped this game. So this is going to be a Mario, sort of like a Mario Kart game called Mario Motors. Obviously,
like half of a Mario Kart game. It had the cards. It had the cards, but it didn't necessarily have the racing.
Well, it had the racing. It's just, you could build your own engine. All right. You could build your own car engines. And it would have been for the DS. It would have been a DS game. Players would sculpt their own car engines, and players would blow into the DS microphone, emulating how a real life engine takes air to accelerate.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They ended up canceling it for, I guess, a number of reasons. One of the things they said, I think, was that kids would get a shortness of breath because they'd have to keep blowing into the car to like test out their engines. So that was like one thing. If that's the whole entire game. You build a car and then blow into the thing to test the wind resistance. I don't think it would have done that well.
Well, I mean, it would have been interesting. It would have been something different.
It certainly would have been something different.
The premise sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
it's
just blowing into my microphone.
It's definitely not surprising why they canceled it.
And then why would they have another sort of Mario racing game that would just take away from Mario Kart, right? Like Mario Motors. That sounds a little weird.
Yeah,
but they've made Mario. I mean, they would have had to. This would have had to been different to be. Mario wouldn't be sort of in a quote unquote kart, right? It would have been in a real car. He would have been. It would have had to been something like a literal legit like sort of NASCAR type racing game.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Maybe with no weapons, no shells, no question blocks to get.
Right. Like a couple of different tracks to race your car around and whatnot, but.
Yeah, the pretty much the gimmick, if you will, is customizing your racing car, right? Your race car. So, I'm not surprised they would have canceled this game. I mean, I'm sure it was a neat concept, and I'm sure they hear pitches from everyone. They want to pitch sort of a game for one of their characters, and they even let them build a prototype. But a lot of this stuff doesn't seem the light of day.
Well, I'll tell you this though, like I'm an adult, and I know for certain if I built like an F1 car, I would not be able to get a lap around the Nürburgring. I just nope. I get to that like first turn, and I'm like, nope, I'm done. Last place. Get me out of here.
I don't know. I'm sure they didn't want to take away from again Mario Kart.
Sure.
It just didn't make any sense. I mean, we already had Mario Kart 7, right? Came out on the DS or 6. It came out on the DS.
I think it was just Mario Kart DS, which would have been the 6th one.
Mario Kart 7 was
3DS,
it was. I'm not saying it had a number on it, but the 6th version came out on DS. So I can't imagine them wanting to take away from this and putting out Mario Motors. If anything, maybe if you would have pitched it as just a new IP, right, instead of a Mario game, maybe Nintendo would have actually move forward with it.
Possibly, yeah.
So, Nintendo had a sort of like an earnings call, as they always do in April every year. And you know how much I love my earnings calls. You know how much I love this corporate stuff, where we learn a lot of details. One thing that they shared is that we're gonna hear about Nintendo Switch Online in May. So it seems that we're not gonna have to wait to E3, which is just one more month after May. Like it's in June. I don't know how I really feel about this. I mean, I guess if you're coming from the aspect of, hey, let's put out all the boring details of online, and E3 is strictly for video. Just we're gonna knock it out the park with games, or in this case, ports, new games, ports, new games.
Sure, yeah, it's like a 70-30 split, probably. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea, because everybody then knows, like, okay, here's what the online infrastructure is. Here's how this is all going to work. You can get hype for the games and know, okay, this is how the games are going to play into the online service. That's all like put out there. Everybody knows what that is, and they can just go. You get to play Pokemon online, and everyone goes crazy.
Why can't we just? I literally don't like the mini directs. Just keep it. I don't need the mini directs. Just keep it for the big direct. Give me a big direct, right? Like make it even bigger by giving me, the stuff that you're gonna put in this mini direct. You don't have to keep just give me little breadcrumbs here. Just give me the loaf. I don't want breadcrumbs. Give me the loaf.
I think there's going to be enough meat on that bone. I don't think it's going to be an issue, honestly.
I mean, just wait one more month. Just one more month. Come out and eat.
It's okay. It's okay. I know you're frustrated. You just want it to be one big extravaganza. Here's the online portion. Here's the games portion. You know
what? If I was in charge of Nintendo, if I worked for Nintendo, I would say, you know what? The direct would be games, and then Nintendo Treehouse Live. We're going to talk about the service. Like that's what I would do, right? Because
Right.
they announced the Metroid game for 3DS during the Treehouse Live, right? Like they didn't even mention it during the direct. So they want you to come and watch Treehouse Live. Like they're trying to get people to come watch Treehouse Live, and people would come. They hear all the details about Nintendo Switch Online.
Right.
And PlayStation did the same thing. PlayStation announced a bunch of indie games during the pre-show before the big conference. Right. So they're trying to do more things to get you to come and before the show or after the show. I just wait. To me, just wait. You know, Nintendo always does sort of like a mini direct prior to E3. Like I don't think we ever hear Pokemon at E3. We always hear Pokemon prior to E3. And
I mean, I don't know.
This year, though.
It is because Pokemon is actually coming to the Switch, so it's going to be like a full mainline Pokemon game. Like it's going to be like pretty epic. People are going to go nuts over this. You know, it's not like they're doing a Stadium or a Snap or like some weird offshoot. There's no Pokemon card game. Like it's legit mainline franchise Pokemon game. So I think they're going to buck that trend.
All right, so let's get into our lead story. Nintendo also announced that Mr. Kashima-san, I'm horrible with names. I got to say that. I work in real estate, and I can't say people's names because I am horrible at pronouncing names.
Right.
So excuse me. I sincerely apologize if I just butcher people's names, but that's just me. I just can't get people's names right.
I got your back.
All right. So the current CEO of Nintendo will be stepping down, and we're going to get a successor. Well, let me just take it back. When Iwata passed away, we got an interim CEO. So, you know, he was there for the launch of the Switch, and he's done a fantastic job. And we've seen some slight changes in Nintendo, right? Like we got more mature games coming to the Switch. Nintendo has. I'm playing Mario on my phone, right? Like we have Nintendo games on mobile platform. So Nintendo has been changing subtly, right?
Yeah,
little by little.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know if this is, you know, because of Kimishima-san or Kimishima. Kimishima-san.
I honestly think, I mean, he has to have a hand in some of this stuff, you know. Yeah. Even though he's an interim CEO, like, you know, he's got to really been he's the guy who has the final say, right? He's like the president, you know. He literally is the president.
The buck stops with him.
Exactly. So if he's like, you know what, the Switch isn't going to be portable, the Switch isn't going to be portable, right? So like, I'm sure if they weren't his ideas, they came to him and he says, yes, this is a good idea. We need to go ahead and push this. So I am certain he's had a hand in some of the success that Nintendo's been having this last year or so.
Well, he's officially stepping down as of June. You know, he was always the interim. He is 68 years old, so in Japan he is at retirement age, but he will still be with the company.
He's at retirement age in America too. I mean, come on now.
Well, yeah. Officially, he is at retirement age, but he will be stepping down as of June.
And Shuntaro Furukawa is his named successor. He will be stepping up. He's been with the company for a while, so he's not new blood, right?
He's been with the company since I was in junior high school. No, in fact, no, not even junior. I started junior high school. No, actually, no. The start of junior high school. He's been with Nintendo since 1994.
There you go. Yeah.
He is young too. He is 46. And just to put that in perspective, Iwata was 42 when he became CEO of Nintendo. Right. So they like to have young CEOs to stick around for the long term.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this guy's going to be around for a little while. He's probably had a hand in some of this stuff too, and some of their success. So
I mean, he's been playing Nintendo games since the Famicom,
right?
Super Famicom.
Right.
He's been on a board member of the Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. You know, he's had several different positions: executive officer, supervisor, corporate analyst, administrator, director. I mean, he worked for Nintendo in Germany for 10 years.
Yeah,
and
he had a hand.
He had a hand in the marketing for the Switch.
Right. Well, job well done. Job well done, Mr. Furukawa. Success, I think, all around.
So let's see if he breathes new life into Nintendo going forward for the future. And listen, I mean, we talked about it a couple of shows ago. Nintendo is bringing in a lot of indie devs, right? Like young Japanese indie devs into the company who hopefully are going to bring like new, fresh ideas for new IP.
Right. Well, it's
and
just,
maybe
smart,
existing IP as well.
That's smart. You know.
So
bring back some Kid Icarus. Come on, you hear me, Nintendo?
You and this
I need some Kid Icarus.
Didn't you like the Kid Icarus 3DS?
It was great, but I need more, man. You know, that was like 7 years ago.
It wasn't. Was it that long ago?
Yeah, it was like 2011, man.
Oh wow. Yeah, that was long ago. That was a long time ago. We're getting old. We're getting old, my friend.
I know.
I know. I mean, listen. Night Trap came out in '93. That was like 25 years ago.
It did. Yeah. It was that and Mortal Kombat led the charge in controversial video games for sure.
I know. And I mean, back then, 25 years ago. Wow, that was a long time ago. Yeah. I mean, back then, Howard Lincoln, former chairman of Nintendo of America, he once said back in '93 that Night Trap would never come to a Nintendo system.
Oh, did he now?
He did.
Well,
and guess what's coming to a Nintendo system 25 years later? Night Trap is coming to Nintendo.
This is so wild.
Nintendo Switch.
This is so wild. And it's not like this game has had so much controversy and news around it and whatnot. By today's standards, it's nothing. There's nothing that really happens in this game that's like ridiculous or just over the top or whatever. Like, some girls are having a slumber party. They're these vampire alien creatures or whatever called augurs who are trying to break into the house and capture the women for whatever reason. So you, as part of like the SWAT team, have to go in and save everybody by setting off traps. Which, why does the house have a ton of traps in there? I don't know. How do you have access to these traps? I don't know. But that's the whole entire game, right? There's nothing really crazy about it.
Listen, if that game was brand new coming out now, nobody would care.
No, nobody would buy it.
But in 1993, when all we really knew was Sonic and Mario and Donkey Kong, right? This was pretty raunchy, right? And then Mortal Kombat comes along with blood, like real sort of live blood, and you could brutally beat somebody and break them in half like that. I just remember as a kid, like seeing Mortal Kombat for the first time, seeing like the fatalities for the first time. My mind was blown. I was like,
the Sub-Zero spinal rip. It's like, oh my god, this is insane. This is insane.
I know. I listen. I have to buy this game for the Switch. I own it for the 32X, and I own the PS4 version from Limited Run. I just want to get it for the Switch just because he said it would never come out for a Nintendo console. And I want to say I have it for a Nintendo console. I wonder if this guy's even alive.
Howard Lincoln?
I want to know if Howard Lincoln's alive. I want to know if he's alive to see that this game is coming out on a Nintendo console. I'm pretty sure he's
still kicking. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he's still kicking. He's probably in his 50s, maybe early 60s at best.
50s, 60s? No, he has to be like in the 70s.
Nah, he was a young dude, man. He was a young dude. He was the head of Nintendo Power too for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. And then he ended up stepping down from that. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, let's see how. Well, listen, when it comes out, I don't think they came out a release date yet for it, did they?
That I don't know.
No, I don't think they have a release date. I think they said coming out this year, but I don't think it's like has an official official.
I'd probably say like fall, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. For my knowledge, I don't know if it come out, but we'll see. We'll see how many units it sells. Matter of fact, is this going to be a limited run game? Do we know?
I would assume so. They're the ones that put out the PS4 and PC versions. And they are doing Switch games, as with the release of... Ooh, help me out here.
Tumbleweed and Mercenary Kings.
Thimbleweed Park.
And Mercenary Kings.
And Mercenary Kings, there you go. So I would be suspect if Limited Run didn't do this port.
And I gotta say, just as a side note, I love what Limited Run is doing with the Switch games. You can pre-order the games. Okay, now you can pre-order the games. I'm sure they have a limit on the pre-orders, right? But you can now just pre-order the games instead of it like being live and it's like, oh, it's sold out in like 2 seconds. So I love what they're doing with the Switch games.
Now that it's
Even
going
though
to
they're not
pre-order
gonna ship
and
it
be
for, like,
sold
3
out in 2
months after
seconds.
you pre-order.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're just basically pushing up when it's going to be sold out.
Well, let's see. I mean, I want to know how many games they that limited run, if they are the ones that are pressing this, can sell for Night Trap. You know what? I wonder if limited run games won't be on like the MPDs or anything like that, because that's only retail. Retail and digital, right?
They do retail and digital. It all depends on who ends up reporting that information. Because limited run gets the license to make a physical version of a digital game, right? So I think it would be up to the developer, I think, to put those numbers out. I think that's how that goes.
So the MPDs came out from March, and no surprise, Far Cry 5 was the big game in March, and it came out at number 1. What was a surprise? Sea of Thieves came out number 2.
Right. Which Sea of Thieves number 2 is very surprising. A, because there's no content in the game. And B, I'm pretty certain that they're including digital sales for Sea of Thieves. Now, I don't think they can include the Microsoft's Games Pass, which is where a lot of people are playing it. But
yeah, well, they can't. I don't know. They can't use Games Pass because they're not buying the game.
Right, exactly.
Right?
They're buying a license to play a ton of games. Yeah, so you can't really factor that in.
So Sea of Thieves making a big splash, even though it's bare bones. I still haven't gotten back to it, and I probably won't. On just another surprise, Kirby Star Allies number 4 on this list.
Yeah, that's pretty big. In at number 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. Right.
GTA 5 comes in at number 5.
Right. Now they don't specify which system. It is on 5 different platforms: PC, PS3, PS4, 360, and Xbox One. But this game is like, at best, this game is like 7-8 years old now, and people are still buying this game. It's wild.
It's 5 years old. Came out in
5 years old for the current generation. Well, it's right. No, 2013.
It came out in 2013 for the old gen,
and then 2015, I think, for the next gen. Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't have this game that they keep buying? Who doesn't have this game? Like,
it's all the little kids, man.
For so long.
It's all the little kids. They're like, it's great, and Rockstar is still putting out content. Everybody streams this game. It is insane. Like every day, there's millions of new car stunt videos, or just online whatever videos. It's just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Rockstar's got a gold mine on their hands.
And the game we have to talk about, the game that's on the list, is the game that I own and we tried to play, is A Way Out. Is in number 15. It made the top 20. I own the game. We tried to play the game. You don't need the game. They said you don't need the game.
Yeah, as long as somebody else is online, they send you an invite, you should be able to play the game. We couldn't make it happen. There was definitely a glitch in the system.
Yeah, and we're playing on Xbox. You could not download the trailer, right, or the demo, because they say you should download the demo, and that's how. I didn't
have an option to do that. I could either buy the game or buy the game. That was it. It's very weird. I don't know.
Which is, we need to maybe call like customer support, because this is like this is BS. Because I really wanted to play the game. Like, I bought the game, I pre-ordered it, I had it day one, and I really wanted to play the game, and we talked about playing the game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna get the game, and we'll just go through it and play the 5-hour experience or whatnot. But
I'm stubborn, really man. Good. They should just it should work the way advertised. I'm sorry.
Well, listen. I'll tell you as a programmer, like, nothing ever works out as it seems. No matter how much you prepare and this and that and whatever, there's always going to be bugs. Something's always going to go wrong.
Listen, you know what? If Valve owned this game and put this game out, it would work as advertised. I'll tell you that.
Maybe. Valve is definitely one of the kings in the developer world. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, listen, they were one of the premier companies out there. they got they had some losses, right? They had some misses. Those Steam machines didn't do so well, right? And,
No.
and they've actually taken them down from like their front page of Valve.
Right.
Like you have to actually search for it if you want to buy a Steam machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they're phasing them out.
Right.
But they've been in the news recently because they shocked everybody. They shocked the whole gaming world when they bought Campo Santo, the developers of Firewatch.
Yeah. This is a wild turn of events. I think it's good for both parties, right? Because
Campo Santo is a small team. I think they're like a team of 12 people.
Sure, yeah, they're a small little indie team. They're really light and mean. Campo Santo probably kind of sees it as, well, now we have a distributor, right? They can publish all our games, give us all the money we need, and
they have more resources.
Well, yeah, and I think Valve was looking at it like, oh, here's a great developer. We like what they're doing. Let's go ahead and bring them on board and let them do what they do.
Well, what Campo Santo does best is story-driven games, right? Like Firewatch is just like a heavily storied, no action or anything, heavily story-driven game, and that's what they do best. And their next game, In the Valley of Gods, it should be In the Valley of the Gods, but In the Valley of Gods, seems to be awesome, story-driven game set in ancient Egypt back in I think the early 1900s. And you're playing as a female African American protagonist, which is awesome. But it's questionable. Why would they buy Campo Santo of all studios that they could buy? And they have a lot of money. They're it's $1 billion company.
Sure.
Why Campo Santo? And I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe everybody's been waiting for the next Half-Life 3.
Oh my
god.
For years.
Campo Santo could do the story, for Half-Life 3. Portal, the next Portal game. Everyone loves Portal. Right? Like everyone thinks I think what Portal 2 was like, everyone thinks Portal 2 is like the best game of all time.
That's great. That's great.
Look at IGN's top 100 list. Portal 2 is like, top 10.
All right, you heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. Half-Life 3 confirmed, thanks to Dan Robinson.
The next Portal game, yes.
The rumors are true. And the next Portal game. Ooh, Portal 3 and Half-Life 3. Coming out same day on Christmas 2020.
No, 2025.
2025? Oh boy. All right.
It's gonna come out on PS5 and Xbox, 1000.
Xbox 1000.
And it'll be out for the Super Switch.
Yeah, right?
Listen, they are this is what they do best, story-driven games. And I think Valve acquired them specifically because they are really good at what they do. Right? And maybe they can contribute to a game that they have in the works and in the background. I mean, if that's all that is not true, is one thing for sure. Firewatch is coming to the Switch, which means Valve is publishing a game that's coming on a Nintendo platform for the first time.
That's right.
If not for anything else.
That's wild.
So another game that's probably not coming out until 2025 is Cyberpunk 2077.
This is a new game by CD Projekt Red, right? The guys behind The Witcher, exclusively The Witcher, I think. I don't know if they made anything else that was fairly big. But
by all accounts, we should get a proper reveal for Cyberpunk 2077 at E3. But there was a leak recently that says Cyberpunk 2077 would be from first-person perspective, which is a vast contrast from the Witcher series, which was in third person.
Third person, yeah. I mean, I know some people were talking maybe they'll do like you can do in Fallout. You can switch between first and third, or what's the other one? Skyrim too. Skyrim could be first and third person. They may have an option for that. It's interesting. I'm glad to see this game back in the news. We need more futuristic Blade Runner-esque video games coming out. it's been dry. It's been very, very dry. We're getting all these medieval things. We're getting all these like it's a lot of medieval.
When was the last type of cyberpunk game we had?
Was
that DLC for Far Cry 3?
There was the Blood Dragon was like a little bit like that. We had Syndicate Wars or whatever the last Syndicate game was, a couple years ago that did not do well. We have that one. There's that one like point and click like murder mystery adventure. I think that we saw last year at E3, which like looked really cool. I'm not even sure if that's out yet. And the name like definitely escapes me, but I'm all about this. I want to see more. It feels a little like Shadowrun maybe. I mean, hopefully we get some. Hopefully we get like a trailer, maybe like.
Well, we get some actual gameplay at E3. Like that's what I want to see. I don't want to see a cinematic trailer. I want to see actual gameplay.
Well, I mean, ideally, yeah. I'd love to see like here's some live gameplay. That'd be awesome.
You know what? Another game I would like to see live gameplay of. Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Oh my god.
Segue. Yes.
Yeah. I'm acknowledging that segue. That is not a bad segue. It's not a great segue. It's not a bad segue.
Thank you. Shadow of the Tomb Raider has been in the news. We got an actual cinematic trailer. Mm-hmm. All right. And we already know it's coming out, September, right? For Xbox One and PS4. Mm-hmm. It will be the third installment in the Lara Croft series. Mm-hmm. Listen, the pictures look great. The trailer looked awesome. It's sort of embracing its sort of inner in Uncharted because it's more story based, right?
Right. So you're going to be all about this game.
If this is indeed what it is, I am all about it. We haven't seen actual gameplay. Mm-hmm. We've seen sort of like pics, like still pics of what it looks like gameplay. But I would love to see actual gameplay, which I'm sure I am 100% positive we're going to see at E3 if it's coming out in September.
Yeah. Oh, right? I mean, we have to see some of that. I mean, it looks gorgeous. I'll tell you that. I am I am not the most kind when it comes to the Lara Croft Tomb Raider series. I will be the first person to admit that. So I really should jump back into these. Right? Everybody says they're fantastic now, and they're definitely not the games. One. Yeah, the second after the reboot. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one I played like an hour. Mm-hmm. It was okay. Right. Like on a Dave scale, it was okay.
Okay. All right.
Not even okay. It was It was
And the low end. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I got to say, the second one I played the most of. Mm-hmm. I even played the VR portion on the PSVR.
Right. I didn't know they had that.
I really liked it. I thought it was cool. I played about maybe 3 or 4 hours. I just, it didn't capture my attention enough. Mm-hmm. And I got playing something else.
Right.
So I do want to get back into it. I didn't delete the save. Usually I delete the save when it's I don't want to really get back into it. Why? I'm so far in, I can't delete the save.
You have all that extra space. Just let it
I'm gonna go back and play. All
right, make it happen, man. Make it happen.
So I want to see. I actually want to see gameplay of this. I want to know if it's sort of like Uncharted. You know what sort of like shed a tear to my eye? I loved Uncharted Lost Legacy. Mm-hmm. Right?
I got you. I got you in the heart.
When we had the female protagonist in that Uncharted world, that sort of to me is what like Tomb Raider should have been.
Right.
So, listen. I like the old Tomb Raider games. They don't hold up well now.
Oh,
I have fine nostalgia for them.
No, they do not.
But they just don't. They don't hold up well now. Just like GoldenEye doesn't hold up well.
Oh, I know. GoldenEye was great for a while, but Halo was the new GoldenEye. The first Halo still holds up.
We should play some GoldenEye. We should get four of us together and play a couple matches on GoldenEye.
We can make this happen with their 10 frames per second frame rate.
We should see how we do.
Oh, I would decimate everybody. Get out of here.
Whatever. Okay, listen. When it came to the N64 controller, I would dominate you, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I would dominate you.
I don't know about that.
But listen, that was a simple time back then,
Yeah.
back in gaming.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we didn't have any loot boxes in any games.
That we did not. We barely had any online with our console games.
We barely, and, I know we didn't have any. We didn't have to worry about loot box. Loot boxes has been a big thing. It's been a big annoying thing for the last 2 years at least.
Oh,
It's
at
been
least,
really
yeah.
big since Star Wars came out, right? Because
Right.
when it comes
The
out with
controversy
a
behind
major
that.
franchise
Mm-hmm.
that everybody knows, that's when it becomes a big deal. And
Right.
now, and there's whole talks about making legislation against loot boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Belgium now has declared loot boxes gambling and therefore illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. It the edict has come down. So any as I understand it, and as the story says, any game that has any sort of loot box where you can potentially win certain prizes and you don't know what you're actually gonna get, that's considered gambling. If that is in your game when you put this game out in Belgium, you can be fined up to 800,000 euros and 5 years in jail for
Possible.
promoting gambling to kids.
You're at risk. Yes.
Yes. I mean, something's going to go down. I don't know if they'll get the full amount out of it, but they're definitely going to press charges. There's legal precedent against it now. There's a law on the books.
Well, it's funny how you look at, one, it's loot boxes are a game of chance, so that's why they're subject to the Belgian gambling law. And Belgium's gaming commission looked at several games. They looked at Star Wars Battlefront 2, FIFA 18, Overwatch, and Counter-Strike Global Offense. It's funny how Star Wars Battlefront 2 didn't make the cut because at the time of the investigation, EA stripped the game
They
of loot
already
boxes.
took them out of the game. Yep. So EA made the perfect move when they didn't even realize they made the perfect move.
Or maybe they made the perfect move when they realized they shouldn't make the perfect move. You never know. Maybe they knew about the investigation and said, you know what, we don't want to be grouped in. Take it out.
Right. That's crazy though. So the one thing I was thinking about all this, right? And I think it's good that they're trying to do what they're doing. They don't want to prey on little kids. They don't want to try and sap all the money out of them and whatnot. It's kind of kids don't know any better. They're like, oh, I got $10. I want to buy a thing. And you're probably going to get almost nothing from it, right? You're going to get commons and whatever else and stuff you don't really need in the game. And you're going to keep wanting to pump more money in there to get the ultra rare thing, to get the gun or the skin or the whatever, right? But they have trading cards. They have collectible cards. They have Pokemon cards. I looked this up, to see if they sell those things, because that's technically also gambling too, right? You don't know what's going to be in the card pack. You know how many cards you're going to get, but that's really about it. That's kind of the same thing.
Now, I don't collect action figures, comics, and trading cards anymore. But when I was a kid, and I'm dating myself, my mom used to give me $5 a day. She said, "This is lunch, whatever you want to eat after school, and spending money." And $1.50 went to a pizza and a soda. Yes, I know, I am that old. And then the rest of the money went into buying.
I remember.
The rest of the money went into buying comic books and cards and trading cards. And I got to tell you, I bought trading cards every day. And I have the complete set of the first 3 Marvel, trading cards that came out. I have the complete set, and it was all dedication. I would buy trading cards, a pack of trading cards every day.
Right.
And, you would get a lot of commons, and you have to trade them. And it was addictive, man. I bought it every single day, every day. So, I mean, that was sort of gambling, right? That was gambling. Right. I mean, and they still do that. You could buy trading cards. You could buy cards for board games, and that's gambling too. But I guess maybe the amount of money is different, right? Maybe loot boxes. I don't know. I never play online. I never buy any loot boxes. Maybe the loot boxes are more expensive. And you need a credit card, right? And a lot of these kids don't have credit cards, so they're spending their parents' money.
That's also true. Once you have the credit card put in the damn system, it's easy to be buy more, buy more, buy more.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see what the difference is, and I don't see them regulating trading cards either. So that's a good point. That's a good point, and no one's thought of. All right, but I like to always end the news segment with something silly, outrageous,
You got something
ridiculous.
good? You got something heartwarming for us? What do you got?
Or you know what? We want to talk. We talked about the kids. Belgium's thinking about the kids. I'm thinking about the kids too.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Yeah, I'm thinking about the kids' college education. Now, I think we talked about this maybe 2 years ago. There is a school in Illinois where you can get a scholarship for League of Legends, and now you can get a $4,000 scholarship if you're really good at Fortnite.
From the Ashland
there is a
University
school
of
in
Ohio. Yep.
Ashland University.
That's right, Ashland University. Yeah, so $4,000 on a Fortnite scholarship. I guess they have to test your acumen to see if you're good at the game, see if you're worthy of a scholarship, right?
Well, I don't know. Is this like a community college? I mean, $4,000 seems pretty cheap, right? That seems like this could be sort of like a community type of college.
It feels like a DeVry or a University of Phoenix Online type situation. Some people have said possibly that it's like a cash grab or a publicity stunt. The fact remains that, esports is like one of the biggest growing, I don't even know what you want to call it, forms of entertainment media, maybe?
They want to talk about cash grab. I mean, how much money are they making off of football teams? All right. And baseball teams and basketball teams. So they're making a ton of money from athletics. Sure. So even if it is a cash grab, it's good for the student who's getting, essentially a free ride. Well, I don't know how much the tuition is normally at this school, but you're getting aid for your education.
Sure, which is great. I mean, as long as they don't make this thing a priority, and that it's not just like a recruitment tool for like esports teams and whatnot. I guess I'm behind it in that case. It gets them into colleges, gets them into higher education. So, that's a good thing, right?
It is a good thing. Now, I'm actually this school's been around since the late 1800s. So they've been around for a long time, and full tuition for fall 2018 is $10,000.
Oh, well, that's like that's like 2/5 of your full tuition. That's not bad.
So it is $10,000 a semester, essentially. So yes, so that's pretty good. If you're getting $4,000, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good tuition.
They only had Tetris scholarships back when I was going to school. It'd be a totally different ballgame.
Listen, if St. John's had a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or Tekken scholarship, I would have took it. I would have did my best to qualify. I would have did it.
There you go.
Or Mario, even better, Mario Kart scholarship, Mario Kart 64. I definitely would have smoked people in that one.
Right.
It's a small school. It only has about 4,600 students. It's ranked 223rd. On the list of colleges. Let's be honest though. If you're a really good Fortnite player, right, you could probably make $4,000 a month on Twitch.
Yeah.
And you're probably over the age of 20. So are you really are you going back to school?
Right. I mean, you already have the skills to kind of make it as a online celebrity / possibly an esports player, for sure.
So, but hey, look, I'm not gonna hate on any 15 to 16-year-old who wants to craft their skills in Fortnite.
Oh man, reach for your
Fortnite
dreams.
Doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon. And for all the people who want to laugh at schools giving scholarships for esports is about to be $1 billion. It's about to hit $1 billion.
I know, man.
In revenue.
That's crazy.
Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, owns an esports team. 50 Cent owns an esports team. Okay,
well, smart people. They know.
Deal. It is a big deal. The League of Legends sells out. Where do the Lakers play? The Lakers Stadium, or not?
They play in California. I'll tell you that. Is the Staples Center? Is that what you're asking? Is the Staples Center? Yeah. Okay.
League of Legends sells out the Staples Center every year. Like the Staples Center. Like
I know.
This is huge.
I know. It's crazy.
Sometimes WWE can't even sell at the Staples Center.
Right.
So this is a big deal. This is a big thing. So I just think more and more maybe small colleges will start giving this, and as it gets bigger and bigger colleges will probably have like esports divisions and their athletic.
Like when it gets to a point, skill is skill. You gotta reward skill somehow.
All right, so let's get into the convo of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Quantic Dreams. All right, they're the developers for Detroit Become Human. Sony exclusive coming out in a few weeks in May. They've been in the news.
Yep.
They're actually suing a French media site over negative reporting.
Right. Now, the reports on this came out earlier in the year, I think in January or whatnot. Story.
I think even before that.
Yeah, so I mean,
this is late last year.
This has definitely kind of been around for a while. Now Quantic Dream is stepping up and trying to sue for, I guess, defamation of character. Maybe is that what you would call it?
Yeah. And this is huge because if they win, that sort of sets a precedent, right? Like, let's just take it back. This outlet sort of wrote a piece from anonymous sources, which I'm going to assume like former employees of Quantic Dreams. I'm
pretty sure they were people on the inside working for the company, and they kind of got some information about kind of hostile work conditions and whatnot, and just a
more of a
little bit of a toxic,
house, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a bit of a toxic culture. What was said, and there are now like photos out online and whatnot. There were a ton of photoshopped files of employees, current and former, photoshopped on top of half naked women, sometimes fully naked women. Sometimes dressed up as Hitler or on Santa Claus or this and that with, kind of very questionable text around there. They're in very questionable positions. And needless to say, like, a lot of the employees just weren't really happy about any of this, whether this was put out as a joke or not, I mean, is kind of secondary. It's kind of something you can't do in a workplace environment, like somebody's definitely not going to be cool with this. Someone's definitely going to be uncomfortable.
Well, especially if you're the one that's the butt of the joke.
Right, exactly. Like if your head is on a half naked girl that's like bent over and being spanked, you probably won't be so keen on that, Well,
look, let's put this in perspective. If you did this on your own time and you shared this through personal email, you definitely have issues, but that's on you, right?
Exactly.
If you're doing this on your work computer, at work, during your work hours, sharing it with coworkers through work email, that's not cool. And that you can't do.
Right.
Because that's like work. That's definitely like workplace harassment.
Right. And they're reporting over 600 photoshops of photos of dubious taste made by a manager during his lunch breaks. And he shared them on the network. So they were available for everyone to see. He was
on the work network.
Yep. Like he was posting these around. So everybody definitely knew about them. Either they've seen them or they definitely know that they existed.
Allegedly posted. Allegedly posted. Let's keep this in perspective and let's look at the other side. As soon as this story broke, Quantic Dreams vehemently denied any of this. Right. They said this is false. This is not, like, this is wrong. This didn't happen. This is not our work culture, and we will take legal action. They said it. They said they would take legal action. And right. I mean, it's taken a few months because, listen, I don't know how long it takes to bring a lawsuit against in whatever country this media outlet is from. Right. But French is a French media outlet, so I don't know how long it takes to bring a lawsuit. Right. But it took a few months, but they're actually doing it. So they said it from day one. They denied all allegations.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I mean, we have photos. I mean, if you want to take a look, be very careful before you go online to take a look. But you can definitely find some of these photos floating around online.
They're not denying the photos exist, but they're denying that this was done at work, shared on work servers. And, they're saying this didn't happen. This is not our culture.
Right.
And, they're in a no-win situation, really, because I always like to put myself in the other person's shoes. Like if I was them, if I was head of Quantic Dreams, and I know this didn't happen, what are you gonna do, right?
You
Like
gotta
no one's
fight.
gonna like court of public opinion can be toxic. No one's gonna believe you. If you go to court, they still don't. They're still not gonna believe you. And if you're acquitted in court, like if they win in court,
There is still the bad stigma in the air, you know.
yeah, they still have that bad stigma in the air. And if they win, that's such a precedent, right? Because if you write anything negative about a company, like a video game company, they could use this sort of as a precedent and come after you,
Right.
and say that's not true, unless you have just overwhelming proof.
Right.
You would have to have just overwhelming proof. You can't speculate at all.
Right.
So
well, the thing of it is, like,
this sets a precedent.
right. There is a lot of information that they're not letting out. I guess the the journalists who did all that stuff, like, they're keeping some stuff hidden and whatnot.
Well, their sources, they're not giving up their sources.
Right. They're not going to give up the sources and whatnot. And now there's kind of an investigation going on. So I think some of that information is now, like, locked down as well. So we'll see how this all turns out. It's definitely a bad situation all around. Whatever happens, like you were saying, like, Quantic Dream isn't necessarily going to come out on top in this situation, even if they do win. So,
and then it's just like the game is about to launch in a few weeks.
right,
Right.
right,
And this is the last thing they want, people's minds to be on.
exactly.
And they want people to buy the game. And I will say this: the game, you cannot pre-order the game on Amazon. Pre-orders are sold out. So, I already got my pre-order, but I got my pre-order with GameStop.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's not really too much more to say about this, but
Well, I would say this. Let's end on this. If this is true, or you know what, it doesn't even matter if this is true. You can't do stuff like this in the workplace. This is wrong. I mean, it shouldn't be done.
It
at
should
all.
be a given, but it still goes on, which is the fascinating part.
Sometimes we need a reminder that what, this stuff isn't cool, and this has no place in the workplace.
Yeah, just think about your actions and what you're saying before you do them. Take a second to pause on that. Because it may just be the best thing you do. Yeah, but I think that about does it, right? That's episode 115 in the books. We want to thank you guys profusely for sticking with us, for being fans, for doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to hit us up and you want to interact, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, YouTube, and Vero at Rated G for Gamers. You can always email us at info@ratedgforgamers.com. So please like, listen, subscribe, and as always,
Keep gaming.